is a Newark, New Jersey native. He's a graduate of Winston-Salem State University. Future Endeavors, LLC is a private, personal, social, and professional development company that motivates and mentors youth. The mission is to expose youth to entrepreneurial activity and training and create small, sustainable income. His motto is, "A wise man keeps good counsel." Let's welcome Andre Russell.
Good afternoon. I'm Andre Russell, founder and CEO of Future Endeavors, LLC. Now, before we get started, I got to give a big shout out to my management team. So, guys, take a bow. All right, I'm just joking. I'm a small business. There is no management team. There is no management team. However, we do contract what we see necessary in terms of advisors as well as program curriculum specialists. So Future Endeavors LLC is a youth consulting company. We want to motivate, we want to encourage, and we want to empower individuals simply through creating marketable, social, and professional skills. So Future Endeavors program is composed of 4 major components: coaching, exposure, experience, and evaluation. The late, great Frederick Douglass once said, "It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men." So in the literal sense, you guys all know this, children are our future. Now I want to introduce you to Justin. Now Justin is a very intelligent young man. He's a natural people's person. He's an influencer, and he also wants to be an entrepreneur. However, without the proper coaching, Justin's life can look like this: despondent, mad at the world, and unfortunately, but often too many times, incarcerated. So Future Endeavors uses the acronym UYS, and it's also our mantra. Now, we tried to instill this mantra into our youth's mind because in this day of time, we just simply really want to save them from the bullet. UYS stands for Use Your Skull. When I was growing up in Newark, New Jersey, my grandfather would always tell me before I made any irrational decisions, "Come here, boy. Use your skull." And what this helped me do was to, 1, have better critical thought, 2, speak life into myself, and 3, identify my passions, along with putting the thoughts into my own head, positive thoughts. Now, Future Endeavors have some points that we like to touch. We would like to we do also have some common problems amongst the youth. 1 is single-parent households, below poverty level. 2 is no consistent male role model. And 3, which I think is probably the most important, is that our youth have a high consumer mentality. Now, at Future Endeavors, I believe we have the solution for that. We provide assessments, customized plans, as well as training curriculum and activities. We also do consistent and timely follow-ups with the parent and child. We identify other needs, such as tutors and other mentors in different areas. We have a customer feedback, as well as an in-service evaluation. Our process is pretty simple. We market to our channels: private schools, public schools, charter schools. Mainly with the public schools, we do Title I schools. We then have a referral system. We contact the referral. Upon contacting the referral, we let them know what we do. We then urge them to go to the website, fill out an application. We then set up a face-to-face meeting, and then they decide whether that investment is necessary for them and their youth. Upon them deciding yes, we then decide how they want to pay. Once we decide how they want to pay, we develop a curriculum for them and a personalized plan, and we start our coaching services. During mid-service, we offer a mid-service survey and then an end-of-service evaluation. Now, we do have competition. However, they all don't check out. What really separates Future Endeavors from a lot of different nonprofit organizations is that we ask parents to pay because we believe parents need to have skin in the game. So this is the way right here that we kind of describe to our parents their return of investments. So for roughly around $155, you get 4 coaching sessions. Now, what sets us apart is we teach economic empowerment concepts as well as the meaning of wealth and the value of money. So we shift the mindset from consumer to producer. Now, our program goals are as follows. We want to maximize the individual's overall performance, but more importantly, we want to create sustainable youth, and we want to target kings. Now, you remember Justin? He's a targeted king. So with our youth being princes right now, we want to make sure that we evolve them into targeted kings. Who am I? I am a targeted king. I am Justin. I'm from a low-income background. I'm from a high-violent neighborhood. And I'm also from, a single-parent household. However, I wanted more for myself, so I shift my paradigm. And this is why I'm in front of you guys today as the CEO and founder of Future Endeavors, LLC. Thank you for your time.
Andre, a very passionate presentation. I'm sure your grandfather's very proud of you. I guess that question, are you partnering with other groups to put this together, and can you generate enough revenue to be sustainable?
Well, yes, we are partnering with other groups. All those nonprofits that are our competitors are also our partners because we offer workshops to their customer base as well. And we also are sustainable because we have a motivational brand that we sell, T-shirts and other merchandise, as well as we partner with private agencies who offer youth behavioral services. They thought that our services, and then with me being from that background, will really have a positive effect and add to their services. So we've been sustainable for the last year and a half.
What type of revenue have you generated in the last 18 months?
Well, in the last 18 months, we generated close to $80,000. Through our private agencies, we get 4-month contracts with them per child, and each child generates roughly $3,200. We also have the clothing line, the merchandise and apparel brand, which we've been very, very blessed to do well with.
I guess I'm not exactly sure. The $3,200, where does that come from?
So that comes from their pool of money. With different youth behavioral health agencies, they have their own pool of money. And so with our add-on service, they roughly pay us around $64 per hour or per session. And so we get up to 80 hours or 80 sessions with those youth.
So really, really terrific, impassioned pitch. I really love this. And what I loved the most about it was the skin in the game. And what has been your experience when you confront family members to contribute to this effort?
Well, that's why we showed the expensive pair of sneakers. Prior to starting my company, I was an intern for a couple of nonprofits in the Winston-Salem area. And one thing that I learned was these kids' parents would just push them off to the nonprofit, not really want to be involved, but they have the nicest clothes. And what I would say, and mostly all the time, the kids would want to hang out extra, they want to do some extracurricular activities. So I'll always say, well, let me meet your parent. With the kid excitement, about being around me and, some of my staff members from the nonprofit, the parents would usually buy in because they want their kids to be around a positive role model. So my feedback has always been positive. I've been able to generate a lot of clients, and so I had to figure out other alternative ways to generate income. But parents, for the most part, middle-class parents who have it, they don't mind paying for sessions at all.
You were starting to talk about yourself a little bit before the clock rang. What was your tipping point?
Well, my tipping point was once my dad left. At 14 years old, I really had to get out here and hustle. I mean, literally, get out here and hustle. I have 7 brothers, no sisters, and I'm the oldest. So with a single mom in Newark, New Jersey, even the ghetto was expensive. You understand? So yeah. I had to figure out how to put the sneakers on. I had to figure out how to get the nice stuff because Mom couldn't do it. We appreciated her for just buying the milk and the groceries. That was enough. So my tipping point came at about 14 years old where I knew that I had to survive this, but I wanted more.
And how do you identify those, how do you use your experience to reach, kids that could go either way at the young point in their life? I mean, how do you identify what their tipping points are?
Well, usually we get referrals. So we already work with different high schools in Winston-Salem, and what happens is we do free workshops initially with after-school programs and other nonprofits, and so we'll get referrals from teachers who will hear me talk, just like I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to them, and they say, hey, I got a guy who I know you could really help. And then, to be honest with you, when I'm not dressed like this, I'm usually like this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to understand better the revenue, and Jay was asking some questions about that. So you get $3,200
Yeah.
per student. You refer to them as students?
Well, not per student, but per private agency. So with behavioral health agencies, they're able to bill where they're able to bill. They'll cut us in with 30% of their billable revenues, and so it roughly, if we do a continuum of a year, we'll make roughly around $3,200. But if we do about 6 months, 4 to 6 months of service, it's roughly around 23, 24.
So these are typically agencies that are getting Medicaid dollars, right?
Well-
So they're in essence subcontracting with you, using Medicaid dollars to provide services to the young person,
services.
right?
Yes, to provide add-on services, because what happens is a lot of these agencies get referrals from school as well, and so the parents will always be like, well, Dre, we really want to get you, but we don't know how, and the school they kicked little Justin out, so he has to go to behavioral health so before he go back to school. So what happened is I said, well, if all the kids that you guys are referring to me, before you kick out, you send them here, I might as well go talk to them since you guys think that I'm such a good fit for your kid. So once I went there and I told them about the services that we offer, we tried it out and they wanted to add those services on, because what happens is that allows them to also get referrals from kids that we're just working with. So it builds both businesses.
Okay, and I'll be the one who asks it this time. So if you can move forward, what are you going to do over the next 60 days?
Well, we're going to tighten up the curriculum, because one of our income streams that we haven't talked about, because I haven't completed it yet, we want to license the curriculum, take the format, and then sell it to other counties. So that's really what I'm going to be tightening up on.
Great, Andre, first of all, what you're doing takes a special person to dedicate your life to doing something like this. So I commend you on doing that, brother.
Appreciate you.
We need more soldiers like you. You mentioned we a couple of times. Tell us who we is.
So we would be individuals who are passionate like me.
So you have a staff.
No, I don't have a staff, but I have individuals that I talk with. I call them my OGs, like Mr. Henry Rock and other individuals who would be.
So Henry Rock's on the payroll.
He will be if I win this money. Now, I'm joking. I'm joking with you, man.
Okay.
No, but prior to meeting Mr. Rock, I met with different executives, older guys who have been running nonprofit organizations that will cater toward youth, and so I would sit down and just discuss with them. And sometimes they would bill me, sometimes they wouldn't, but I like to keep it on a professional level, and I always would like to pay them.
Got you. There's an increased awareness of behavioral health or mental health or whatever you want to call it now. Have you seen an increase in your business over the last year because of that, that national awareness now that we're accepting this as a part of the healthcare solution that we're trying to create in our country? And second, are there opportunities out there where you can get some of this federal funding?
Well, yes, there is opportunities for federal funding. I'm going to answer your second question first. Okay. There is opportunity for federal funding, but that will come with me partnering with different nonprofit organizations. Federal funding usually doesn't go to small LLCs or for-profit businesses. I'm a for-profit. So yes, so that's why I want the parents to have skin in the game. And I have definitely seen a rise in clients in terms of over the last 15 months, due to the fact that a lot of these individuals, students, random youth are being advised to go see mental health behavioral agencies. So with the context that I have and the agency that I have a contract with currently, I've had an influx in business, yes.
Great. Now, are you getting a lot of business through your website?
As of late, yes, because with what I wanted to do was, and I've been marketing this in Winston-Salem mainly. I started with a smaller market. I am allowing the youth to now sell merchandise such as the clothing, and I want to give them everything except for a couple of dollars extra on top of what we paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So parents have been really hitting me up for the summertime because they want to get their youth employed.
Okay, great. Well, excellent strategy. Good luck.
Appreciate you.